My name is Gareth Wynne. I'm going to read to you a story which I have written. The title of the story is The Sprout That Missed Christmas. This is a story about a sprout, but not just any sprout. This is one of the special sprouts which are grown just for Christmas. They sit waiting in the fields, hoping for a frost to give them more flavour. When picked, they are kept on their stalks right up until Christmas Day, when they are ready to take part in the Christmas feast. Sprouts know that they have a certain reputation with humans. They know humans criticise their smell, flavour, and even say that they cause wind. This is outrageous, and all special sprouts know that the only true part of this is their flavour. This unique flavour fits perfectly with turkey, roast potatoes, roast parsnips, peas, carrots, cranberry sauce, bread sauce and gravy. Everything that makes an ideal Christmas feast. On Christmas Day, the humans carefully take them off their stalks, ready to be cooked. Now, a word of warning. There are some strange and exotic ways that humans sometimes choose to cook them, even on occasions pairing them with nuts. I mean, how crazy is that? The special sprouts prefer simply to be steamed for just the correct amount of time so they can shine in your Christmas feast. But in this story, something terrible happens. While the human of this particular house was removing the sprouts from their stalk, he was distracted by the doorbell. In going for the doorbell, the human dropped one of the special sprouts onto the floor. This wouldn't normally be a problem, because the special sprouts are trained while growing to deal with such events. But on this occasion, the special sprout found itself rolling under the kitchen cupboards. Even worse, nobody knew it was missing. The sprout shouted to let the human know it was there, but because the sprouts have special soft voices, nobody could hear him. The poor sprout was stuck with no one to rescue it for its most important of days. The sprout could hear the rest of his friends being prepared for the feast. The sprout could have cried, but of course sprouts are not able to cry. So this poor sprout had to just lie there in the dark, listening to everyone enjoying the Christmas feast. Just imagine, this is the moment that you've been grown and nurtured for all of your life, but you miss it. The sprout was heartbroken and wondered what was going to happen to it now. The poor sprout had to listen as everyone finished the feast, saying how good the meal was, especially the sprouts. The sprout lay there all alone as the humans gradually left. Then there was just quiet and darkness. The sprout was now frightened that it would always be left under the kitchen cupboards. After what seemed like weeks and months to the sprout, in fact it was only 2 days, because remember, sprouts are never taught the time, because they don't need to know it. It felt a brush sweep under the cupboard, and the sprout was brought out into the light. The human looked at it in puzzlement, saying, "Where have you come, little fella?" The sprout assumed the human was talking to it, and so tried to tell the human what had happened. But as you all know, the human couldn't hear what the sprout was saying. After a few hours, although it was only seconds, because sprouts don't understand time, the human said, "I'm glad I've found you. You are just what I need." The sprout wondered what the human meant, but hoped it was good news. The human said, "Christmas may have gone, but I have quite a bit left over from the Christmas feast, and no sprouts left. This is perfect, because you can't have the remains of a Christmas feast without sprouts." Hearing all of this made the sprout very happy. The human plated up what was left from the Christmas feast before gently steaming the single sprout. Just before the sprout was ready, the human heated everything else up in the microwave. When it was all ready, the human placed the sprout in its pride of place on the plate, the only sprout on the plate. As the human tucked in, he was heard to say, "This is wonderful. You can't have a Christmas feast, even if it's the second one, a few days after Christmas, if you haven't got any sprouts. Even one sprout makes all the difference. This made the sprout very happy, because even though it had missed Christmas, it now felt more important than ever, because it was there on its own, making this into a proper second Christmas feast for the human. The sprout had now fulfilled its purpose in life.